my family. Your brother Alizan, he's got another hot platter. Look at that. Look at it. Oh, would you look at it? Just look at that. So we are doing something by a little bit different. I mean a lot of bit different today. So we're still doing the channeling, of course. I'm going to be moving into the channeling state, which usually I don't feel to this extent before I do it. This is very important today. What Spirit wants us to look into, what Spirit has us getting into. Oh my God. Yeah, there were pains all over my body and just crazy feelings. No bad pains, and they're moving through, but some pulling on the wings and Spirit wanting me to know about certain things to add in today. So you're still going to pick your skull for the most, or gemstone type for the most important message. But there's a message in 1, 2, 3, and 4 for all of us on what we're really moving into. So being this Aquarian age, being the fact that we're moving into the sign of Aquarius, I really wanted to, Spirit really wanted to have all of the headphone skulls within reason come through. So that's why the headphones are there, as a representation of the arts, as a representation of your creation ability. So I'm going to actually let you know off the bat which gemstone types they are, and we're going to be talking about, please pick based upon what you're seeing. This is Mahogany Obsidian. Okay, that's number 1. You can pick a number 2 if you're just getting a number intuitively and you're not into the skulls. I know some people are not. I already looked at the chat feed. I saw that this was obviously a favorite. That one this is from Alexander's personal choice. This one's, you'll never see that on the site. That is very much so mine. Oh my God. A lot of questions about this one I saw coming through. So number 3 is actually Lotus Jasper. But this is a special Lotus Jasper with black tourmaline and green tourmaline inside the matrix. This thing is not getting justice done by the camera. It is absolutely gorgeous. So it is a mixed up matrix known as Lotus Jasper for number 3. And you guys are meeting a celebrity today. Every time you hear me call out to Rom, this is Rom. R-O-M. Okay. So that's number 4. This is black obsidian that has been molecularly bonded with platinum and silver, otherwise known as Angel Aura. And that will be number 4. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a, I know Katie saying, I love the skull headphones. Yeah, that's them. That's the fam that's been gridding the house. Rose Quartz, personal favorite. Rom, I can't even put him in a category. It's probably the most powerful skull in the house because of the work that's come through with it. Keep in mind, 1 through 4, there's going to be a message because we're asking a specific question today. Our goal, Spirit's goal for everybody, is transmutation. Look at this as a live, or even if you're seeing this later, if you're watching this later, still, same thing. The messages that are here, the messages that will be left right here in this present moment throughout the upcoming future timelines and stations that we will all be traversing together, is to make sure that we are removing and transmutating any and all blockages. So today is actually more of a healing session than it is predictions. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm really excited about this. So number 1, Mahogany Obsidian is very well known at removing any hooks, any cords, any etheric tethers that are in the body. Excellent at transmutating nanotech. Anything that could be or still is residing in the suit due to diet, due to past diets, due to other loved ones in our field. It's one of my favorites. That's why it's been in every Ultimate Shield bracelet, because of the fact that it snaps etheric cords. Number 2, the Rose Quartz. Okay. This is for actually our passion. So this is going to be representing the heart field. This is going to be representing the heart. So this reading, when number 2's reading comes through, this is going to be to further get in touch with your passion, to some sort of answer from the galactic councils, ascended masters, any and all benevolent deities that have to do with the arts, that have to do with benevolent creations, that have to do with dancing, that have to do with whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't have to be art related. This is really about us getting in touch with our passion, which literally says to pass ions. Anytime you see the ION, this is talking about this word that is older than Egypt called the ion, this invisible piece of lightning energy. Okay. Number 3 is going to be for the heart-mind connection, the Lotus Jasper. Okay. Black tourmaline for the root chakra, safety. The green tourmaline for the heart, the clear quartz for the crown. This one's hitting all over, and it's called Lotus Jasper for a reason, firing off that lotus at the top of our crown to further get that connection, which is going to be this heart and mind cohesion. So the reading is going to have something to do. We'll pull up the camera in a second so you can see the table. The reading is going to have something to do with how do we step into this? What could be still needing to be healed, purified, whatever that is, from the highest benevolent frequencies only, how we do on the channel. And this is going to be the epitome of our galactic art. This is actually about controlling time and space, plain and simple. Just a little backstory on Ram and what Ram is and why the name of this is Ram. To truly be in touch with the solar plexus chakra, our central sun, to me, the most unutilized and under-talked about chakra in all of them, which it probably is the most important. Let's be honest, it is the sun. It's called our solar plexus for a reason. And of course, the heart, of course, the third eye, of course, the crown, the root, the sacral. I hear it. I'm here with you. I see it. The solar plexus, incredibly, incredibly important. And like I said, I think it's very utilized and spoken about in all these metaphysical circles. So this whole Ram thing. And so my buddy Hanuman, the fighting Buddha, made some mistakes in his existence. Sometimes he would act from impatience. He would act from passion once again. And through acting through passion, sometimes he's invading heaven, doing this thing. Some of the other gods would be upset with him. But what was such a healing and transformative information for me to find out was this story of arrows coming towards Lord Hanuman from all directions. And he literally just started to chant Ram. He started to chant the sound for the third chakra. And the arrows didn't deflect. The arrows actually suspended and stopped in midair. So once I read this, I was like, ooh, I got the truth pimples. I got the goosebumps all over my body. And I was like, oh my God, that is so powerful. So having this galactic connection to this very, very powerful feminine frequency, that's wanting to come through with the feminine frequency of the arts, the feminine frequency of creation, the feminine frequency of that baby, that big, huge galactic baby that the words are disrupting it to a certain extent. But those of you out there that can feel, those of you out there that can see, you know what I'm getting on about. So number 4 is actually going to be about the galactic arts. It's going to actually be about what we're creating. It's going to be actually about the next step. We'll have to see what the cards say. But without further ado, removing attachments, the actual passion, how to get in alignment with it, heart, mind, cohesion, and the galactic arts. Let's begin, my family. Let me write down the time. So number 1 will be 9:28. I wrote a 9 for some reason. Okay. Let's go. Other camera. How's my family doing? I'd love to see it in the chat. Where are you coming in from? Look at all this year has already started with. Wow. That was 2 weeks. Interesting. That's the speed we're moving, my family. Okay. Let me clear the deck and then I'm going to tune in. Alrighty. Hey, buddy. Benevolent forces in multidimensional reality. Please assist Alexander with aligning the cards in a proper manner. The highest order of benevolence to show everybody, to teach everybody what's going on with their attachments. Their attachments, the blockages, anything that could be a hindrance, anything that could be representing a stagnation, to all the art deities, to all of the mother deities, art deities, angels. The highest orders of benevolence only, please, at this time. I will be your speaker. I will be your microphone in the highest orders of benevolence only. Oof. The energy starts to swirl around me. Got it. Okay. Here we go. Oof. Oof. You could make it up, but why would you want to? Okay. All right. Get over here. Get over. Okay. So the first and second card representing the physical and representing the energetic. We're seeing a choice has been made. The choice has been made to ascend. The choice has been made to get to this area of enthusiasm. Having God within is what this word means, what we're excited about. We came in with this. That's what Spirit is communicating with Alexander. We came in with this. It was somewhere along the way, somebody that we looked up to, a counselor, a teacher, a family member, a coach, an instructor, somebody that was older than us that we went to for counseling in some way, shape, or form. They're the ones that gave us this attachment. That Spirit is wanting you that picked skull number 1, that picked Mahogany Obsidian, to know there is something to detach from. There's something to detach from. This is other people's belief structures about what? Fear of loss, fear of failure, losing face, losing ego. Look at these future 2 cards. You can't even make this up. This says look through the spiritual window if I'm looking here, but I'm actually looking at these people that are suffering, that are poor. This card can represent poverty, but this is an energetic poverty. This is an energetic belief structure. This is something that isn't real. It says at the bottom of the deck, which is the cloud cover, this is a tough decision. The message from other dimensional versions is clearly stating that you are this light warrior. You are this one who came here to do what? To do this, to do what you came here to do. But these people's belief structures, which Alexander has absolutely positively had to hack his way out of and still is navigating in this present moment. This is not the easiest thing to do. You can just see this. Anyone who picks skull number one and say, oh, that's irrelevant. I already did that. I already went through that. I already asked these questions. I already did this work. But the fact of the matter is, this is something that has ebbs and flows. And this is something that, depending on certain astrological signs, this person can come through stronger. This person can affect that affect that connection to the self that has us thinking these things, even if it's on a subconscious level. This whole thing, I worked my way through it. I worked my way through this. I promise you this isn't real. I promise you this isn't real. I'm going to put the skull down for a second. I'm going to do a little bit of a story. And many of you have heard this story before. So just fast forward about a minute if you don't want to hear this again. I remember talking to my dad in 11th grade, and he's like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go to school? Like something about college. What do you want to do for college? My art was so good, I could have gotten into RISD while living in Rhode Island. I was already told this by many, many art instructors in the school, not many art teachers. They only accept 10 people from Rhode Island. At least in the past reality, they only accepted 10 people from Rhode Island because they wanted to really pull people in from all over the world, from all over the country. They didn't want all of RISD just being filled with Rhode Islanders. When I said this to my dad, he instantly planted the seed in me of artists die poor, and he's not going to waste his money on that. This was a cause of a lot of argument with my grandfather later. Love you, wizard. And I've forgiven my dad for this. There's a lot of work that needed to go into this. A lot of work, a lot of me navigating certain frequencies that were not the best. And that's right here. So sometimes what I'm getting at here is this could be in a belief structure that is not of purity as well. Because it is not pure for me to leave Rhode Island and say things to my dad like, hey, because I could see my future. I could see my future as the Time Lord that we all are. But the Time Lord that I was in that present moment, I could see what was coming. I could see my future. And I told my dad when I was holding these epic things that I make, and I showed this to my father, and I said, hey, Dad, what is this? What is this? And he goes, bracelets. And I go, this is handmade art. I just want to remind you that you told me that artists die poor. That was not the appropriate vibration. There was I'm going to prove you wrong in that. There was lower vibrational frequencies that are not of purity. So part of this removal of attachments can be of your removal of attachment of wanting to prove somebody wrong, something that is not in the highest state of purity. And the reality that we're in demands balance. It demands truth. And purity is going to be, it's the way. It already is the way. That degree of purity is going to continue to increase every single day. That's what the daily was about. That's what Spirit is wanting me to communicate with you now. Shaman burps are wanting to happen. Excuse me. Some of these things are tough decisions. Some of these things actually have egoic aspects that are connected to them or attached to them that are alive and well and thriving. And these forms might be pride. They might be ego. They might be something that is no longer serving you. But when these things exist long enough, these versions of the self exist long enough, they start to have a mind of their own. They're probably, for some of you, wanting you to click away from this video right now to not hear this message. Plain and simple. Because these aspects need to protect themselves, and they do not want a flashlight put on them. They do not want to be exposed. They want to pretend to be the real you. The real you is pure. The real you is a high angelic. The real you is a light warrior. The real you can cast a fireball, but chooses not to, and chooses to heal the entire battlefield of life. So this is loaded. This is loaded. Who this person is not important. It's not important. It might be beneficial for you to go and find the person in a meditation in your dream time. It might be beneficial for you to navigate this, find out who the person is or not. It's up to you to sit with the importance of what was said to you. It's more important, if you're here and you're watching this, that you know that there are aspects and there are frequencies that are in need of balance. There are tough decisions to be made about your future, because your future is actually your past, and your past is your life purpose and what you came here to do. Isn't that what's most important? Isn't it most important that you do what you came here to do? Okay? So instead of having any sort of resent or regret or angst or anger or anxiety or blame towards these people, look at this as the catalyst. Maybe they were right. Maybe the reality that we were in before artists did die poor. The fact of the matter is we're in a different reality today than we were when you were told this thing. And the fact of the matter is maybe you doing that thing, that exact present moment was their intuition. Let's look at whatever this is with purity instead of blame, please. That is what is most important. That is what Spirit is wanting you to know. Is this is not just this attachment. This is an onion, and this has layers. And once you start to look at the layers, you realize that there's a box of onions, and this is work that we can do, and we can feel like it's done. And then little pieces of lack and little pieces of unworthiness and little pieces of how much money we deserve to make in that present moment can affect you, depending on what is going on in the as above, so below, in the old reality. In this reality, let's leave room for space. Let's leave room for purity, that this is no longer the case, that this has been transmutated. This is the work that we're doing today. For now, what is most important is putting the flashlight on the thought structures, putting a flashlight on the belief structures, the aspects and the frequencies that are no longer serving you. This does not mean that we need to ask these aspects to leave. Be grateful for them in the same way of what I was speaking about earlier. They protected us. There's something that might have happened that was very, very necessary for them to be there in that present moment. So this is not about like, oh, I need to find this aspect. I need to get rid of it. It's all you. It's all you. And whatever these aspects were, they were there for a reason. So we don't need to shove them in a canister and send them off into the void of space. No. Having them feel safe to be here, telling them thank you for your time, tell you thank you for your service, thank you for your protection, thank you for your magic where it was needed. You don't need to stay, you don't need to go. You're here, that's fine. You're me and I love you. This is the fastest route to furthering our purity. This is the fastest route to furthering our patience, and most importantly, our worthiness. Our worthiness to be who we are and truly step into the role that you came here to be. Oof. Anything else? Oof, they're happy about that one. All righty. Thank you. Ooh. Let me clear the deck. What do we have for time? 23. We'll just do 23. Okay. Passion. How we pass on ions, what we do with our energy, our electrical energy. What is your passion? We'll have to see what comes through in the cards here. Here we go. Get out of here. Okay, thank you, Bill. Thank you for being. But you gotta go. Okay. Here we go. Number 2. Ooh. Okay. One of the big guy inside Thunder Mountain is very happy. Oh God. Interesting. He usually remains very quiet. It's actually very shocking to me. Okay. Oh. Okay. Again. How funny. Okay. Okay. The paladin is at the bottom of the deck now. So now the paladin of the light warrior is the entire cloud cover of this reading. Okay. Oh, all right. All right. Interesting. Your passion is something that was very frowned upon before. Your passion is something that you couldn't talk about. There were inquisitions around this. There were reasons to have people move away from things like herbs and move towards things that were more of a chemical nature. And what Spirit's wanting you to know is you've already learned this. You've already learned what your passion is. You know what your passion is. It's the vibration that has been coming with it in the past realities, not this reality. This reality is very different. This reality has the opportunity to be very different. And if you're feeling that it isn't different, then leaving space for that and leaving manifestation for it to be into the next reality. In the next reality, this will feel clear. In the next reality, this will feel pure, because we're literally seeing the card that represents Merlin, and we're seeing the card that represents a witch in the future. So to see these two very, very powerful masculine and feminine frequencies that have to do with magic, the 9 standing alone, this card representing the Hermit, this representing Merlin, this representing this earth goddess. I mean no derogatory comment by saying witch. I mean nothing scary or evil by saying witch. I know some people are going to be triggered by that word. It's where this word came from. It's where these words came from. It's where these frequencies came from and how they came to be, which is really what should be being looked at. It's really what should be being intuited in this present moment. But what we're seeing is this is the high ground. Merlin's gone through his transmutation. Merlin's gone through his frequency changes. This is pure. Maybe it wasn't pure before. Maybe it wasn't pure in 2023, but here in 2024, this is very pure. These are friends. This is all friends is what this is saying. There's something that has to do with herbalism for some of you. There's something that has to do with healing for some of you. There's something that has to do with pulling down something that you're very passionate, some technology, a frequency, putting paint on a canvas. There's something that any sort of chaotic things that come up is the universe's job to show you as yourself, as you being the universe, having an expression of itself. Those are ways that you can show yourself where the blockages are. Those are ways that you can show yourself what needs to be transmutated with fear, with what's going on. Yes, this happened multiple times. What we're doing here in this lifetime has happened less times than what has happened that I'm speaking of right now. You seeing these things happen to others, you having this thing indoctrinated and force fed to us over and over again that it wasn't safe to create. It wasn't safe to be passing ions onto each other. This cup being spilling over with an endless amount that you cannot be drained. You cannot be losing your energy anymore. The second you decide to step out of these chaotic belief structures, and the second you remember what you already know, and what you already know is there is nothing evil here. That's why it felt so good when you moved into this work. to whatever degree that you moved into it for. That's why you created the traumas that you needed to create and picked the family members and the traumatic situations that you needed to pick, because you're stubborn and you needed a stubborn push. You needed a stubborn push towards seclusion from being alone to be able to realize that you had the high ground all along. And you needed these people and these frequencies and these challenges and these traumas to be able to find your power, to ask why, to go through this whole, why was I lied to? What is this? Why do I keep seeing the same signs? Why do I keep seeing the same numbers? What do these numbers mean? To ask questions, because you were not asking questions before these traumas took place. So finding out what you're passionate about, you already know. This is what this is saying. You already learned it. You're already a master of it. Moving forward while not looking where you're going. I can see why you didn't want to look where you're going, because you thought you were going towards a timeline once again, where if you spoke your truth, where if you lived your purpose, that if you were in this state of passion, you would be killed for it again. And that's not the case. This is not possible. This is not possible with things like web cameras and cell phones and cameras running everywhere. This is done. This is over. This has been done, and this has been over. But have you decided it? Do you know it's over? Do you feel safe? And if you're not feeling safe, not having blame on anybody, not having blame on yourself, just learning what you need to do, truly tuning in through your dream time, truly asking your guides and your crossed over relatives, whoever it is that you communicate with in this present moment and the next, and asking them, what is it? What is it that is these blockages? What is it that is this belief structure? Why don't I feel safe? And what is necessary for me to feel safer than I've ever felt in any lifetime or any present moment before this one? Let's go before all of this magic. Let's go before all of this power. And let's truly find the power. Let's truly find the power of this, whatever we learn. Because when we learned this, our intuition told us what we were doing was not safe. There was an opportunity. There were books that we were hiding, and there were things that we were writing between the lines. It wasn't safe. I'm not asking you, Spirit's not asking you or telling you to go back to the way this was. They're asking you to go before that and to use any information and all things that you've learned across all of these timelines, past, present, and future. You already are the master. You already know what you're passionate about. Other people are passionate about this too. It doesn't matter how many other people are doing it. Like some of you might be like, well, I want to do cards, but Alexander's doing all these other people doing it. There's all these people doing cards. What's the difference? The difference is the other people that find you when you step into this level of power are archetypally similar with yourself. And the people that are finding me are archetypally similar with me and my archetypes and my challenges and my traumas and the things that they're observing me step into my power more and more every day. And this would be the same for you. There's only one you. Yes, we are all one, but there's only one person that is that perfect cocktail of all of the archetypal frequencies and ascended masters and starseed lineages. That is you, my beautiful family member. You are safe. Now we just need you to get in alignment with that. In the bathroom, snakes. Okay, thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Whew, that one was gnarly. Okay, give me a second. Hey, thank you. All right. All right, what am I doing? Heart and mind cohesion. Okay. Let's go. Oh, let me write the time down first. 34:44. We'll take it. Oh, God. Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. Okay. Okay. Yes, I should sit up on composure. Yes, the comfort sometimes. Even forces multidimensional reality. I will be speaking about being from this present moment. Oh, all information regarding the art's creation, my family's passion, heart and mind cohesion. What answers, what questions we have not asked that could be answered in this present moment, but how to better get in alignment with this information. What's the next step? All the angels, obviously, the masters that can help with the music and the arts and the alteration to compunta sedation for concerti. Okay. Whew. Thank you, Veronique, for the super sticker. I see you. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. There are certain vibrations, there are certain energies that want to be addressed for the heart and mind to truly be working as one unit. How they were functioning long ago. There are certain things that have come through by this reality being the counseling agent that has been you getting in touch with the version of you that you are in this present moment. Thank you for being here. Present moment, you. There are certain decisions that have been made that are having to do with the powerful gaze of those around us. It's not even necessary that they said something. It is quite possible and quite probable that they did say something that hurt you. Sometimes it's just a glance of the eyes. You look at their eyes, you know exactly what they're thinking. In the past realities, when Alexander would have this take place, he would just know what they were thinking, but he wouldn't mention it. And then there were moments that he'd mention it, but they would attempt to make him feel crazy for saying it. The way that that is communicated in this present moment is by saying, I don't think you're doing this. I can feel it in every cell of my body, and I know that you're doing this. And every time that has come out of my mouth, every single time that has been communicated, the person goes, yeah, you're right, I was doing that. And sometimes these are complete strangers that I was never going to see again. But to let them know that I can read minds, and I do read minds, and I can read eyes even better than I can read minds. This has been something that I'm letting them know. Why am I saying this to you in this present moment? Because the drama and the belief structures and the fears of these other people is something that is being broadcasted non-verbally quite often, and sometimes verbally. And this seems to be the blockage. This seems to be this I can't decide whether to go left or go right card, which is the cloud cover. This version is no longer necessary. The strength of your inner child in the future, and this is energetic strength. We've got the energetic row, we've got the physical row. To have the inner child come through in the physical, this needs to be addressed, plain and simple. How do the heart and mind work as one? When somebody's silent gaze is getting your heart to beat faster, is getting your stomach to turn, is having certain things take place within your body, that your frequency is in a state where the inner child doesn't feel safe to even be in the body. The inner child says, let me know when it's safe. Let me know when the bad man or bad woman is gone. This is something that was taught to us in the old reality where it wasn't safe. It plain and simply wasn't safe. If you picked the skull, you definitely need to listen to skull number 2 as well. This is what Spirit's communicating with me right now, because it's very important to know about safety, truly know about safety. We're not going to go through all of that again. What I will say is this: what you are feeling is real. And this question of how do I avoid the way that these people are making me feel? You have an option and a choice on how you react to energy, but energy is very real. And when you feel this energy, you have no choice but to be the buoy that's moving around in this energy to a certain extent. The most powerful Zen master on the planet is going to feel it and cast a gaze, or at least have some sort of thought or frequency come through when they're being sent energy. When they're being sent energy that is not in the highest orders of benevolence. This is going to be felt. Manipulation is going to be felt. Fear is going to be felt. Other people's anxieties are going to be felt. So this old way is being asked to be transmutated. This old way is being asked to be released. These old versions of you are being asked to be thanked for their services. But this death of the old, plain and simple, and this rebirth in this present moment of that baby, of that galactic baby that I was speaking of, this frequency that is older than time and space itself, this frequency of creation that does, it's not even about having a masculine or feminine sex. This frequency is the rebus. This frequency is the caduceus staff itself. And that frequency is the inner child that knows what I can do and what you can do all day, and be losing our voice and barely be able to even speak about this thing that we love so much, we're so passionate about. And we get to the point where we have no more voice, plain and simple, in that reality, where there's no more voice to even talk about the thing, and we're exhausted and we're hungry and we're wanting to just get to our car and get to our food and get to our bed and get to our bath and get to our shower and get to our gym. And somebody comes up to us and asks us, what is this? What is this that you do? What do you do for a living? How many times have you been annoyed by that question? Because people are asking you out of, oh, you do this, you sell that. Oh, you're a nurse. Oh, I got this thing on my skin. How many times have people tried to gain from what you do? That's an inevitable thing, at least in the old realities. We hold space for that to be released in the future realities. But those of you out there that are in these certain job sets, like a mechanic or this thing or that thing, you get brought up this, it's not your passion. It's not your baby. It's not your thing. And people bring up this thing that isn't your thing, like it's your thing. I don't know if this is a lack of creativity or just what, or just them not knowing what else to talk about, but they bring up this thing out of selfishness or out of a lack of creativity. And they ask you how they can gain, what information they can learn, because they're looking at you like you're a master of this craft. In this reality where you're doing the thing that you're in the highest state of inner child passion and excitement about what you're doing, no matter how hoarse the voice is and how hungry the stomach is and however much the mind needs to rest. In that reality, you're still excited to talk about that thing you do. You're still excited to talk about your healing sessions, and you drop everything and you're like, hey, I'll just be a little bit more hungry. I'll just be a little bit more tired. I want to talk about this, because what if this is the person that I can pass some ions to? What if this is the person on why spirit aligned me with this place, in this location, in this hotel, in this house, in this town, in this city, on this planet, of why I'm here? We are the catalysts for each other. We are the dominoes, if you will, that can set off these chain reactions. The chain reaction that's being asked for you to set off within yourself is this: the way that we are all affected by others' eyes, by others' gaze. This is something that Alexander, as the empath that he is, the powerful empath he is, I don't have an answer for you. I have energy tools that help with this. I have not found any way to not feel whatsoever, as the powerful empath that I am, other people's energies when they're taking place, when they're judging me, when they're lying to me. These frequencies make certain chakra centers not feel in their highest vibrational state. So what's really necessary is when you're alone, is when you're getting a moment, when you're taking a moment, when you're having a drive, when you're putting yourself first. Because by putting yourself first, you're putting the inner child first. By putting the inner child first, you're able to get in touch with that passion and be able to find in these present moments that heart-mind cohesion on what it is you want to do, on what needs to end, on what needs to shift. So this is about you taking time for you in those moments. This is about you making sure if these people are in your physical reality, your day-to-day reality, it might be time to have a conversation with these people. It might be time to tell them, I don't think I feel. Feelings are universal in this reality. My biggest and most important thing I've wanted to let all the divine feminine know in my life, and all of you that are watching this anywhere in Spaceship Gaia, it honestly, it hurts me when I hear a divine feminine say, I think, and I know she feels it. And I know that that feeling should not be and cannot be disenchanted any longer. So please find a way to say what you feel when you feel it, and say what you think when you think it. This is the most important thing you can do with your mind and your heart cohesion. Because many people are saying they feel something when they think it. And many people are saying that they think something when they feel it. And feelings are law. Releasing these old versions of yourself, releasing that old version of yourself, no matter how much ego, no matter how much pride about the name, the blood, the this thing, that thing, what you've done, where you are, who you are, what labels you've given yourself. Releasing that which is no longer serving you when you are ready to. And the way that you can finally tune in on this, because many of you just got triggered by what Alexander just told you, is by tuning in on the blockage itself, this difficulty of deciding whether to go left or right with things. Why am I excited about it one moment and then not the next? Truly tuning in on any of those blockages and leaving it open-ended towards that, and putting anything that is going towards this being a vibration into the state of transmutation. What does transmutation mean? Transmutation is getting something in one form, getting the base elements of it, and turning it into something that is more desirable. So by you being the magician that you are, turning things that are undesirable in your life into a state of worthiness, plain and simple. This is not about your ego. This is bigger than your ego. This is your life purpose. Thank you for being here. Oh my God. Oof, water. What was that? Okay. Oof. Galactic Art Council. This will be interesting. Oh, let me write the time down. 49:22. 922, Connie. Connie. Let's go. Okay. Oh. Este é o ponto isto, só te acompanhas nesse pompa e essa da capacidade, deixa de catar, boia, já estás com pompo, pode ser, deixa, não palhaço. Não, já não diz, não passa até, já está de campo, bombos. Tempo pode ser som fome foi acho isso com você faz tentam bosta essa tribo compostos. Pode ser isso, isso tudo. Oh, this one's giving me goosebumps. Underneath palm trees. Tudo com basta do sutios fora. This is interesting. We have a cloud cover of a decision to be made, and the decision to be made is over the 2 wand decision cards in the tarot. Okay. This shows a choice of something in the physical. This is why the person's holding the earth, why the person's holding the globe. They're deciding where they want to go. They're deciding what they want to do. This is an energetic decision. What this is saying, when I look at this, the only multidimensional card is coming through in the physical, with your ascended masters, with your guides in the energetic frequency, with your crossed over relatives, your higher selves, if you're still using that vernacular, other dimensional versions, the original creator of your soul in the form of this ascended being is coming through to let you know that these decisions to be made need to be made multidimensionally. The decisions on your art and your future and the classes you're going to teach and your podcast and the food you're going to bake and your TV show, your radio show, your book, that item that you know how to create and handcraft, whatever this thing is that you came here to do, you special, beautiful wonder you, this thing is multidimensional. So doing this multidimensionally, what does that mean? Having this in cohesion, having this in the appropriate frequency with all of the chakra, with all of the frequencies that are coming through multi-dimensionally. Do we feel safe? Are we transmutating something? Are we in our state of willpower? Are we in the state of unconditional love? This is major. We are not saying this is easy to do. We're saying there's a decision to be made. So when we look towards the future, as we say, this big, gigantic thing that should be done for you to get into the highest levels of passion, for you to create the true art that you came here to create, what could be blocking this? This is Hertz. This multi-dimensional decision is being caused by multi-dimensional Hertz. So to have these multi-dimensional Hertz be put into a state of transmutation here and now, let's not even look at these as hurts or pains anymore. Let's look at these as magic. This is magic that was waiting to be turned from one form to another. Any unworthiness that is in that very powerful, very beautiful magic that was coming through across time and space in the past, present, and future, in the highest orders of benevolence only, was there to teach you something. You asked for it, knowing how stubborn you can be. You asked for a lesson. You asked for a choice. You asked for a challenge. You asked for something that you thought was probable. In your earlier years, you would fail this test. And you failed the test, but you didn't fail the test. You gave yourself something to create a little karma so you could remember that you are an incredibly old soul. And when you're an old soul, it's not tooth for a tooth. It's tooth for 5 teeth. It's tooth for 12 teeth. It starts to exponentially expand to the point where someone can steal $1 and lose 1,000. Because you know better, my family. You know better. So whatever this hurt is, to retrieve this piece from the future, this is actually talking about soul retrieval. This is talking about shadow integration. This is talking about doing the work that has been avoided because of the hurt, because of the fear, because of something that was going on. You are multi-dimensionally supported in every way now, not in the future when you start doing this work. Now, we see a multi-dimensional card in the physical. This is representing all your family members around you. This is representing your spiritual family is what I'm really referring to here. This can be some blood family members, but this is representing all of us in this present moment, right here and now, co-creating this together, that the help is here, the assistance is here. It already has been. It's the people that think they're alone that have the most angels around them. That's how it's always been. Anybody that's a seer, anybody that's a medium knows that. When they see somebody come in and they have more than 3 angels with them, they know that that person's been feeling alone when they're not. So they needed extra reinforcements to feel more powerful, to not feel alone. When a relative is staying with somebody, instead of going back into the wheel, instead of working on things that they have to do, it's because this person feels like they need them in the present moment. When somebody feels like they need somebody who's no longer here, that can have ramifications, that can have effects. Nothing negative whatsoever, mind you. I'm not saying that you're making a mistake by doing that. I'm saying that you're powerful as remembering that you are all of it by doing the work that's been being avoided, and the work's being avoided because of the fear and the hurt, which is multidimensional. Maybe you're looking at it like it's not multidimensional. Maybe you're looking at it like, well, that happened to me when I was a child, and it's because of this physical thing. But this is a physical thing that's affecting the mental, that's affecting the astral, that's affecting the etheric. And this is something that it didn't first happen when you were a child. This first happened lifetimes and lifetimes ago. So things are being asked to put into a multi-dimensional state of transmutation. And we, as a family, as a group, have the power to start this right here, right now, and continue to see miracles as the ravens are cawing out my window. I'm not sure if you can hear that. These multi-dimensional birds that are much more than the color black. What is it, my family? What is the thing? What is the thing that needs to be chosen multidimensionally? I'm not asking you to answer right now. I don't think it's possible for any of us to answer right now, but we can put this reality and the next and the one after that into the highest states of purity, into the highest states of cognition, so that we can perceive, so that we can see that which it is that needs to be set into motion. We know it's being sent into motion, and we're doing it now multidimensionally. But many of the things that you've been doing, and many of the things that I've been doing, and many of the things that everybody around you that isn't going to watch this video has been doing, is looking at something like it's linear, is looking at something like it's just here. It's just this one thing. And it's not this one thing. It's not this one thing. It's everything. It's everything. And it's everywhere. It's as above, so below. It's as within, so without. This whole microcosm, macrocosm, and these laws and principles of the reality that what's at one end of the pole, the opposite is at the other end of the pole. So if something is 30-70 or 70-30 or 99-1%, it's always going to be at the opposite side of the pole. And you are the pole. You are the polarity. This is why we came into this reality that was experiencing duality, so we could transmutate that. And we could get into the state of it's not just black and white. There are endless shades of gray in here. And some of this black and white and shades of gray, people think that the darkest of grays is evil. Once again, you can believe that's the case, or you can truly step into your power. You can truly be grateful for these aspects that were protecting your mind, your body, your spirit, that were protecting you astrally, that were protecting you causally, that are you in a different form as the multi-dimensional blend of archetypes that you are, because your services were needed here today and tomorrow and yesterday. Lower your breath even further. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the nose, whatever feels right to you. Below the belly button, find your perineum. Find that energy center, the center of that center. When we move from that center, we move with full fluidity. Many people get confused. Is this my root chakra? Is this my sacral chakra? No. This is an energy center in and of itself, and it is not even on that same spectrum of antenna. Much or all of our power is stored in this center. This is how a monk can light fire and straw on two flames with their bare hands, with an open hand, by accessing that center. It's none of the chakra. People are very confused. To truly find grounding within the self, to truly call all the versions of you to center. Your services are needed in this present moment as 100% of the self. So if we are not 100% us, if we have any pieces left from traumas in this lifetime or lifetimes before, or lifetimes in the future, to continuously call those in a healed, transmutated state in the highest levels of purity back to the center of centers of centers of centers in our hearts, for the highest states of I am presence, that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am. Oh God, my eye's twitching. One second. What is this shit? A member of the Pleiadian Council wanted to come through and was pulling on Alexander's eye while he's in this state of being the speaker and the microphone and the highest order of benevolence to let you know all of these aspects had to do shadow integration. Every single deity that is being worshipped on this planet, no matter what their name may be, had to do shadow integration at some point. Many are avoiding shadow integration because they think it's going to make them more evil. It's going to make you more pure, because this is the state of looking at the horses that are pulling your carriage, that are pulling your cart, and putting them into the state of purity. The fact of the matter is, if you have not done the shadow integration that we are speaking of in this present moment, your chariot is being pulled in directions that are not in the highest order of benevolence. So it's actually evil to not integrate your shadow. And everybody that came before you and will come after you is in the present moment state of doing this, whether they realize it or not. It is the way. It is the only way. Thank you. Anybody else? Excellent. Huh. All right. That's it. We're there. The gin are free. Just found that out. I guess that's just going at the end of the video. The jinn are no longer slaves throughout time and space. That's excellent. Anything else? Two thumbs up. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all. I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot if you're liking the video and you're subscribed to the channel and helping with the growth of the channel. I really appreciate the patrons. EnergyTools@crystalcurrent.com. Booking a session happens at galactictarot.com. Galactic Tarot everywhere you can find me. With an apple from my teacher, because I knew I'd get a kiss. I always got mad when the class was dismissed. When I lunch in the bag. That's my jam right there. I did so good today. I didn't even get fiery. Did I get fiery? I don't remember getting fiery. We did it. Yeah, we're done. I love how, like, once I'm done, that's when more people come in. We don't need to be looking at a table anymore. Where's my brother? There's your brother. I freaking love you guys. How is your current state of purity? Are you working on your purity? How is your ego? What belief structures are you believing in this present moment that are no longer serving you? That's just me speaking right now. Or I think so. What is it? What's running you? I have to ask this question every day. It helps to go look at your face in the mirror. Which face is looking back at you? Is it your pretty face? I hope it's your pretty face. I love your pretty face. I'll see you all very soon.